we're here at the WP Water Cooler, and I brought over a bunch of friends and colleagues and people I've worked with and haven't worked with, and I wanted to get you all together at the water cooler and talk about WordPress. So first of all, let's go through everybody, and we'll introduce one another. I'll direct and tell each one of you, and you can just introduce yourself. My name is Jason Tucker. I run a company called Tucker Pro, and I'm running this little hangout here. Let's go with Cody. Tell us about yourself, Cody.
Cody Landefeld. I run and own and operate CodyL from Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm located at the fabulous Gangplank Collaborative Workspace in Phoenix, Arizona.
Very cool. Hey, Dave, tell us about yourself.
Typing.
We have a loud typer.
Hey, Dave, can you tell us about yourself? All right, we'll skip Dave for a minute. Hey, Linda, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I am hanging out from beautiful Kauai, and my website is KauaiMarketing.com, and I build websites mostly for people on Kauai.
Very cool. All right, Lucy, what about you?
Lucy Beer. My site is webtrainingwheels.com, and I mostly teach people how to use WordPress.
Sweet. Nice. All right, Steve, what about you, man?
Steve Zehngut. I am the leader of the OC WordPress meetup here in Orange County, and the founder of Zehngut.com.
Fearless leader.
How about you, Suzette?
I'm Suzette Franck, and my website is SuzetteFranck.com. I work at Kustnerweb.com, and hope to have a great time here.
Sweet. How about you, Say?
My name's Say Reed, and I do web development and web training also. Say Reed Media. Woot.
Sweet.
.com.
How about you, Verious?
I'm Verious Smith, and I develop websites and WordPress, and our company is Veracity Design.
Awesome.
Welcome.
We have a latecomer here. Tell us about yourself, Andrew.
Hey, I'm Andrew Bela, and I have my own company, Bela Design and Web Development, up here in Woodland Hills, and happy to be hanging out with everybody here.
It's my hometown.
All right.
Represent.
In the studio.
So up on our Facebook page, we posed the question of what type of things should we discuss, and one of the things that recently came out was the 2012 theme, and I wanted to get your opinions about 2012 and what you're thinking about it. Who wants to take that on?
I'll talk a little bit about it. I've played with it a little bit, and I'm pretty disappointed. It doesn't offer the range of features that 2011 offers, and the home page allows for 2 widget areas, and they're off-center, and it's just not. I don't think I'm going to probably switch to that as my default theme. I'll probably stick with 2011.
Ditto.
Ooh.
Burn.
I think the best thing about 2012 is that it went back to the boat. Now it's got the boat again, from the old theme repositories. Instead of the header with the tree or San Francisco or whatever that was, and the pine cone. I love the pine cone.
There's not even post formats on there. There's a lot of features that are missing that are in 2011. There's no theme options. There's not a dark version of it. There's not the ability to put the sidebar on the left or the right.
No dark version.
Not the dark version.
No dark
Dark.css.
No, the dark side.
Yeah, it's terrible.
WordPress is for the light side, man.
Oh boy.
Well, that's a big sparkling review. Awesome. Now I'm so excited to go try it out now. I haven't had time, but
it does look clean, and it looks like the beginning of a very nice theme is probably what I would say.
I was underwhelmed at the demo. Sorry, Steve.
That's okay. I was just asking, is it done? Is it released?
Well, they were going to release it in December, right? Did you guys read that?
I think it is released.
It's released, but
right now.
Yeah, it's in the repo.
They pushed it to put it out with the beta instead of releasing it in December, which is seems possibly like maybe they were doing it just to test it more, to test some 3.5 things. Maybe, you never know. They're sneaky like that.
Yeah,
Do any of you use the 20 whatever themes for your base development, or
No.
I know you do a little bit, Suzette, right?
Yeah, I do. I use 2011 as a basis for like all of my themes.
I just started doing that actually with the clients that I work with at the Small Business Development Center because we're focusing more on, you know, just development, and so it's easy to just take that, and it has everything. Like Suzette was saying, like 2011's loaded, like it's really loaded,
Yeah.
and so that'll be kind of a bummer if it's not, because it was so easy to just turn things on and off in 2011. You know, you could just kind of use whatever, and it was a great base point, even though it was kind of bloated, but you know, for something simple, it was easy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when they did the run through in San Francisco, I was a little underwhelmed coming from, you know, how much 2011 had in it. So yeah, I definitely agree.
Well, underwhelmation.
Yeah, I think that's a good word to call it. Yeah.
Since we're talking about the new release, I know we have an order of things, but can we talk about 3.5 beta?
Sure.
That's the third item on the agenda.
I know, I'm going to make like a motion to like move it because of segue capabilities, right?
Yeah. So what do you guys think of 3.5 beta 1?
Oh, Lucy, you talk. You're probably going to say the same thing.
I've only played with it a little bit. There's nothing there's the beginnings of an overhaul of the media library and the upload of media, but it seems really not finished yet at all. So
that kind of scares me. That media. I mean, that's a huge change, and it's something that will really affect a couple of my customers actually.
Just a couple? Won't it affect all of them?
Well, I mean, I made some changes to you know, various fields in there and such, and I'm curious how it's going to work with it. So I'll probably have to be putting that up on my staging server and kind of messing around with it.
it's really only cosmetic at this point. It looks.
Yeah.
I was really hoping
Still is unfinished.
I was really hoping they would. I think someone was talking about that in the group too. Like, I don't know if it's just something I like dreamed of or imagined, but the ideas of being able to not have it in categories, like image categories, as opposed to, you know, month and date. I mean, it just seems, and also, I mean, it just seems like a no-brainer to me, and it doesn't seem like that would be so complicated. I know there's always other considerations, but I don't know. I was really holding out for that one.
XMLRPC is actually enabled by default on there now, since they're doing
good.
a lot of stuff with their mobile apps and such. So they want to be able to make sure that people are able to use it without having to re-enable it.
Has anyone tried the Jetpack mobile theme yet?
No.
No, didn't you try it?
I haven't tried it yet. No, I just installed it, but I haven't played with it yet.
Jetpack's weird. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I know you're a big fan, Suzette.
I'm a fan, but it does do things that bug me.
It's just like software that has its own personality. It's like a personality on top of a personality.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get that with anything in WordPress, is that if it's something that's going to be all-encompassing and try to take care of the majority of the stuff that people want, there's going to be quite a few people that are going to be left out and not going to have that one key feature that they want to be able to do.
But I think that's good because that leaves all the room for the development of the, you know, the ecosystem, which is so robust. You know, plugins and custom themes. Like, if you make it so that WordPress is, you know, trying to be all things to all people instead of just a really solid framework, then it really narrows down what's capable. I think its strength is in that it's this framework that we can all build off of and take into all these different directions and rely on that core, that it's a solid core. It's like we've been doing a lot of ads.
Do any of you use Jetpack on a regular basis?
No.
Just me.
No, not on a regular basis. I just started using it.
I was using it, and then it was causing conflict with other plugins, and when I disabled Jetpack, those issues went away, so I thought maybe it's kind of bloated, and I think it was causing jQuery, or I don't know, JavaScript library issues, or I just didn't want to deal with this, so I disabled it and stopped using it.
That's interesting, considering you should just enqueue the scripts and stuff, and things should, you know, work themselves out. You know,
Yeah, that's all in theory, right?
I think
I've
should
had
is.
some serious
I didn't want to deal with troubleshooting it, so I was like, I'll get rid of this. Nobody really cares. The client didn't know any better, so I got rid of it. But I was looking at the media library for WordPress. The new one looks a lot like Facebook. Has anyone played with the Facebook album builder recently?
It's the new one. It's brand new, right? It just came out.
Yeah,
I just got it enabled on my account.
I hope WordPress takes some cues from Facebook for UI because their design is incredible on the new one.
Never say that again, please.
I would just say for the album, have you played with the new album creation and how easy it is to order things and add tags, and I mean it's really intuitive.
I haven't.
Big shocker! They want us to label our faces more easily on Facebook.
I always skip that part.
Well, I mean it's in the name, so.
Wait, hey, good point. That is actually very true.
So they did kill the links tab inside of WordPress 3.5.
Yeah, is that going to affect anybody? Here?
There's a plugin, you can add it back in.
Oh, it will.
Yeah, you can add it with a plugin, right?
It's not going to affect anything. If you upgrade, your links will still be there. And if you want to add it back in, then there's a plugin. So it's not really going to do too much damage, I don't think.
I think that's great. I've been talking about since like 3.2 that they were going to keep promising people that won't be there anymore. And when I train people on it, I've just been like, just ignore that.
Yeah, it's always confused clients, I think.
Why are people so happy about it leaving?
Because it's unnecessary. It's like the Hello Dolly plugin. You're like, stop.
Yeah, why?
I agree with.
Like, what? I know it's great, but...
I don't know. It just seems like it's something that should be there.
I'm playing with that Facebook thing, and I still look overweight in my photos. It's weird. They didn't fix it. They didn't fix it.
It's
a bug. You need to report that.
Yeah, I'm logging out.
Is that an extension?
That would be kind of a cool extension. Someone needs to make a plugin for the media library for that.
Splitting effect.
They also moved the privacy setting into the reading setting, so there's no privacy submenu anymore.
Oh.
Oh yeah, look at that.
They just took that option and they put it into reading.
They should be
it was really like one feature and took up a whole tab. I like it when they condense. Did they? I haven't checked yet, but Press This used to be in 2 spots. Did they put it in just one? It used to be both in writing and.
I haven't paid attention to Press This in a long time.
That's something I've
Does
never
anyone use Press This?
It's still in both spots. I use Press This a lot, actually. Press This is a pretty cool feature, yeah.
I think so too.
If you don't turn, you should actually turn all your clients on to Press This. It's a way to quickly add content if they're not already using it.
Right, like it's a great blogging tool. Like people need that type of bookmark it. Like that's a mindset that we're in, or as web users, favorite it or bookmark it. And if they can hit a little button and pop up their content, they're like, oh, that's so easy.
Does that work with custom post types?
What's that?
Does that work with custom post types?
I don't think I've ever tried it.
Oh, I haven't tried it on custom post types either.
Yeah, I have a couple clients where they don't even have posts at all. They just use custom post types for everything, and that's it. So.
Oh, you're one of those. You just take away their posts altogether.
I would be surprised if it works for custom posts.
Did you say you would be surprised or you wouldn't?
Yeah, because it's pretty limited from what I remember.
Well, it's a very basic post is all it is.
Well, even if it just pops it in somewhere as uncategorized or whatever, it doesn't have to, like that would be at least. It's that bridging that gap between when a client can get something into it, like.
That's what Evernote is for.
Oh God, Evernote is so bloated. Speaking of bloat. It's alright, I gotta get on that train.
How do we work this into a segue for the web app subject?
Well, it's kind of a web app, right? We're talking
Let's
about
build Evernote in WordPress.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Really quick,
press this into the web app.
Very quick. Press This is just for posts, it looks like by default. But there is a at the end of this call, I'll find a plugin that lets you put in a post type, and I'll see if it works with Press This.
Nice.
I think one of the reasons why the web app development thing was listed on here was that there's a few different ones I've been looking at recently, and one of them's something that was just presented over at OCWP, which was the quality control web app, which is the one that appthemes.com came up with. If you guys haven't taken a look at that and you do any type of any customer relations stuff and keeping track of tickets and such, it's a pretty cool one.
That's cool. Yeah, App Themes does great work.
Yeah, I mean they're doing job listings and coupon management and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's pretty neat.
I have a client who's using JobRoller, and it is really hard, however, to customize. It really, because when you're talking about developing these super like kind of proprietary softwares within the software, they seem to lock it out, and it makes it really difficult to customize it any way other than just style based. So I think as far as clients go, their expectations are like, oh, we'll just change that and just change that, and they don't realize that this is, becomes a whole other ecosystem of code.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Well, I tend to, in those cases, sometimes it's better to keep their expectations and, we're using this for a purpose. Because I'm right there with you. Like, I've promised a client that, and you get into editing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like...
yeah. Can I do all this in CSS?
I immediately
right?
Vision. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then they, if they do an update, they change things a lot because it's still such a new, just new in general. So when they change things, it's, it's radically changing, and so you build a whole custom thing, and then you have to explain to your client why you have to rebuild it all again and build them all in hours.
I've had that experience as well. You kind of just need to take them as they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Anybody else using any of the other ones that are from App Themes?
What's this AppSumo thing? I haven't checked it out yet. Is that an app thing? It sounds like one.
It's like
the store, right?
Yeah.
It's like
daily deals. It's like a Groupon, but it's only for web developers. So they have a lot of WordPress stuff, and occasionally they'll have the membership for WPMU on there as well, which I've been waiting for.
I totally thought it was an app, like a web apps thing. That's really weird.
It's ran by a bunch of former sumo wrestlers, right? No.
It's a deal thing.
It's a what?
It's kind of like a Groupon for apps.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I think I bought Pictograph. I haven't even started using it yet. Like a quick way to make infographics.
That's like another way to buy things. No, I haven't. No, but I was going to say it's like another way to buy things you might not use or you won't use. But it's such a good deal.
Sound like a good idea?
Why did I buy that?
Well, speaking of that, we can segue right into the really good deal that InfiniteWP had up until yesterday, which was the $200 for all of their apps forever.
Actually, they still have it. I got an email today about it.
Yeah, I thought I saw an email for that.
About it too.
They're like, psych!
That's becoming, like, even at our meetup, WordPress meetup, I mean, everybody's like on Infinite. It's quickly becoming the thing.
Am I the only one that actually hosts that thing on a web server versus local?
No, I host it on a web server.
Okay.
Yeah, I host it on my server.
What are you guys doing for security-wise with it?
I just have it limited to IP because I'm lucky our office is just sharing the same IP. So I have it limited that way.
Did you resolve your problem, Jason? I know you were having a problem with it this weekend.
By having it limited to an IP address, it was actually blocking the ability for it to get out. So all my sites weren't updating. Nothing was getting any information when it was polling them, and I couldn't figure out what was going on with it.
Did you move it to a
everything was
local?
fine.
You removed it or moved it?
I removed the restriction for the IP address, and it resolved it at that point.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
I haven't used it yet. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, well, so what do you do at that point? Then it's like, hey, come get every single WordPress site I deal with. Here you go.
Nice.
Absolutely.
75 character, password generated, like what I'm using right now.
A lot of punctuation.
Are people using InfiniteWP for clients done like on a maintenance agreement kind of thing where, you're responsible for all updates?
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know.
Well, that's my plan.
I've always hated just playing the hosting. I'd rather work with WP Engine or ZippyKit and let them deal with updates. And I don't know, do people like doing it more themselves or?
Well, my clients can't afford WP Engine, so because I work with lower end clients. That sounds terrible, but lower budget clients.
Lower third
clients. I'm pro bono. No, not like that, guys.
Not profit.
So, they can't afford, the nicer versions of that sort of thing, and plus, WP Engine not hosting email and all that gets kind of just a whole nother level. So I'm really looking forward to using InfiniteWP, just so I don't have to remember all those passwords.
Yeah.
So speaking of,
a lot easier. No, I was just saying InfiniteWP makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, it seems like it.
So what, you just do a maintenance agreement with your client and charge them $10 a month, $30 a month, whatever it is, and just have them pay you and you just maintain their stuff?
Yeah, that's how we work it.
What's
Yeah.
everybody charge?
Not.
I'd like to know that.
It depends on the client for me. I'm very honest on a floating scale, depending on where the client's at.
Oh. Steve, what were you going to say?
I'll wait till this topic's done. I was going to bring up a new topic.
Oh, okay.
New topic.
And there you go.
Go for it, Steve. What do you
I
got?
was going to say, speaking of themes that suck,
Oh, crap.
please do not use a theme called Avada, A-V-A-D-A. I talked about it last week. It's from Theme Forest. I don't know if this is an Avada thing or a Theme Forest thing, but the short codes that are in this theme are just asinine. They're ridiculous.
Is there an Echo shortcode?
There's no documentation, and they provide you a couple of samples, and the way they lay out content is just BS.
Shouldn't you really have looked for the documentation before you got the theme?
I wasn't the one who picked the theme.
Oh.
What do you do in those situations? The client picks it, and you're like, you got to get on this dog and ride it.
No, you say, you can't have that one.
I charge accordingly.
Denied.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, maybe just skin it on a framework that you like. I guess it depends on the budget, but God, it's such a time waster when you deal with these bad themes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go in there and recode things, and then, like we were talking about last week, you have the whole updating problem. It's just like, that becomes a nightmare.
Well, has anybody been aware of what's going on with Theme Forest? That kind of came up in our meetup last week.
Is that the Justin Tadlock thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it for Justin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Starting a revolution.
I think that's
Wait, really?
I'm so happy about it. We need more of Justin Tadlocks.
What are you guys hearing over there, Cody?
Well, just since so many themes are built with the plugin functionality inside of the theme, it's, the approach is simplifying the theme and bringing the plugins outside, or any of the plugin functionality outside of the theme. I think that's what the approach is on the Theme Forest stuff, because it's built so simply for a simpler audience, and I think the community and the space is getting a little more in the know. So you're getting more people that understand WordPress, or more developers are working from a base. So there's now a real demand for building these things a little smarter.
Thank goodness, because it was getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it's flat out, like Steve said, I could totally imagine how much of a nightmare that is.
Well, I was going to comment on something Andrew said. When it comes to our clients, if they do request a specific theme or look, it's almost better just to build it ourselves, so it's similar.
That's true. I've done that many times, and it's just such a pain going through the Theme Forest. I'm like, I could have coded this in a few hours. I've already spent 5 hours debugging it. It's awful.
Right, and plus, it's fun to build your own themes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but not for regular users, and that's the problem. The Theme Forest themes, as much as most of them suck, the ones that are decent do provide like a valuable service in that users can get a lot of features that they need or they think they need in one place. So while I agree with you want to make the development smarter and all that stuff, that just means that the documentation has got to get 500% better, and it's got to make it clear that if you want this effect that's in the demo, you need to add this specific plugin.
Sure. Well, I think the thought is not to have it go away completely, but to make it more usable for both people who are providing services for people purchasing those. Because, yeah, I hear the same. Because when you look at something like Theme Forest is done, and when you say, well, I'm just going to build you a theme, I mean, it doesn't have the same features, and the user's like, or the client's like, what the heck? This isn't the same. You didn't give all the features that Theme Forest gave.
And I think there's a deceptive things about the themes that you can buy that are premium. It's like, hey, I got this premium theme. I'll go just pop it onto my server or whatever, and it'll work automatically. But there's a lot of there's a lot of things you have to go through as far as the process of setting it up, and especially if there's no documentation, you have to know how to do it.
Honestly, Studio Press, they probably changed, but they used to be one of the worst culprits of that.
Is that an iPhone 5?
And actually, Verious, you bring up a good point, because, and it came up in our meetup this past week, is with Woo themes especially, you know, all the Woo theme demos look great when they're built out and on their site, but when you install a Woo theme, it looks empty.
Naked.
It takes work.
That's the same with everything.
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand that, but like Lucy said, documentation is the differentiator.
Well, and we're talking about these people can't, like, if we're talking about, again, the kind of the user who's just, like, out of the box, they can't really go to ThemeForest and buy a theme and install it and have it work because it doesn't make any sense. And all those themes have different modifications to the dashboard, so it's confusing for the user because if they switch themes, all of a sudden they don't have the same post types or the same order, and the custom theme options are all different, and that's really confusing, and then they think WordPress is confusing instead of understanding that it's the theme that's confusing.
It's just deceptive. Yeah.
It is deceptive.
It's on the consultant. I mean, it's on us to create better clients from the people coming to us and helping them understand the difference, you know?
Well, I'm talking about people out of the box without consultants. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
It shouldn't necessarily take a consultant to be able to interpret, you know, how to like add a header. Like if that's what the ThemeForest things are trying to do, then it should be clear. But if they're trying to make it so they need developers, I mean that's fine too. I want a job, obviously. So you know, but they shouldn't be saying that they're so easy to use because WordPress is so easy to use, and then be completely complicated and make it seem really difficult. It's bad for WordPress rep.
So I'm with Lucy on the prerequisite theme or plugins, though. You know, you have to dig through the code to figure out, you know, if this plugin exists, I'll start using this versus, you know, you have to look for those things in the code, and no one's putting that in their documentation. That makes it really difficult for even developers to try to figure out what the heck, you know, you go through it and you're like, oh, this thing does pagination, but it has to use a special WP paginate, you know, plugin. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sloppy development.
Sloppy development exists in an open source world? How weird!
We need standards. Standards.
Wait, and you also said lack of documentation. I mean, that's the programmer way of doing things, right? You don't document. I leave code in I leave comments in my code. Well, you know,
comments in my code.
I wanted to get a quick mention in for the plugin that I mentioned earlier, which is called Post Type Switcher. And what that does is allows you to quickly take a post and choose a post type and move it over. But it does not work within Press This. I tested it while we were on the call here.
Oh, really?
Love
What's
it.
it do?
Look at it, instant testing.
What, it doesn't do anything?
The Press This box does not have the Publish panel in it, so it doesn't show that menu.
Yeah. I think Press This needs to be developed.
Test. Well, we got 36 seconds left here.
We're talking about specialty themes. Do people use any special themes for like dentists, let's say, or medical?
I think we're all developing them, right? So that's what we're all doing the customizations.
Custom themes.
You know what? We'll hold on for that one for next week. How about that?
Okay.
I won't be here next week. I'll miss you guys. Mwah.
Cool. All right, well, I'm not sure if you guys know, but you can actually download this as a podcast form and audio podcast form, so you can download it and listen to it. So if you're in your car, you can listen to it.
We're all gonna blow.
Thanks, Jason.
Jason.
Thanks for sending it out.
Bye.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep. See you later.
Peace out.